going on. I know it was a awful shock to me when I found out what was really going on, and at that point I couldn't be willfully ignorant, and I couldn't deny what my eyes were telling me. And in my awakening process, that actually was what catapulted me or started my journey into actually seeing this stuff for what it really is. And I know John had a similar experience too.
So once again, the controlled media is involved in this. I suspect the limbic brain is paying close attention to those lines moving in the background. And as Griff said, we're being conditioned to accept lines in the sky or lines in our field of vision as perfectly normal.
It might be appropriate for me to say one additional thing here for your information. Chief of Naval Operations Jeremiah Borda was assassinated over this program in his house some years back. Do a search for Jeremiah Borda. He was an enlisted man in the Navy, and he went all the way to the top and finally assassinated as Chief of Naval Operations. He opposed the program. It was a Navy program. It is still a Navy program. The basic fundamental beginning purpose was for the RFMP, Navy Radio Frequency Mission Planner System, and it used a mixture of barium salt in the very beginning, and that's all they were aerosoling out of CIA aircraft, contract aircraft primarily, and now it's coming out of occasional CIA aircraft and also more often than not out of commercial airliners. Now the crews and the pilots have no idea that they're doing it. The laboratory crew is the one that has the responsibility of loading those planes, and it's a very secretive thing, and it's very risky. There's still people putting their lives on the line with this program. There's no security over the chemistry whatsoever. If anybody wanted to put something else in those aircraft, I'm sure they would find a way to do it. It's a gigantic program. It's going on all over the world, and it's probably being funded by clandestine money coming into various operations. We know the CIA was actively involved in developing the program for the Navy, and it's being managed out of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio.
Well, let me tell you this. Let me ask you both this, because I find a lot of things are developed with good intentions. Do you think, Rosalind, that the persistent contrail programs were developed with good intentions in the beginning?
No, I don't think so. I think that they were developed with the idea of military application.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
And you think the same, Griff?
Yes, I do. Yeah, it was a Navy program.
Right.
And it was for, especially for a sub-program within the RFMP system that would not function over land. They needed a moisture to make the VTRPE, do a Google search for it, VTRPE sub-program work. And weather was one of the block diagram inputs into the VTRPE system within the RFMP. And they were outfitted on aircraft carriers for the battle groups in the very beginning. And it had to do with battlefield imaging. It was used in every war we've been in since the Gulf War. It's been used in Iraq. It is key to military operation. I doubt seriously if any military, certainly the Navy, any military could operate without that system, and that's why it's so much secrecy over it. They were some kind of bent out of shape when the word got out. And I'm still alive.
and Rosalind too, for that matter.
Cheers.
Well, I'm personally glad that you're still alive, guys. And we got about 15 minutes left, folks. Anybody have any other questions or comments? Please, the number to call 914-803-4151. As we wrap the show up, I would like my man John to get in here and ask whatever questions he has, because I know he's been chomping at the bit to talk. And sometimes with his connection being out in Podunk, Pennsylvania, he can it gets kind of hairy. But he's had a pretty good run tonight. John, go ahead.
Well, thank you. The good run tonight is brought to you by the wind vane I got in my backyard, giving me the electricity to power my computer. Okay, when I was in elementary school, I learned about the clouds, the stratus, the altostratus, the cumulus, the cirrus clouds. Now, when my grandchildren come home from school 10 years from now and they start talking about the clouds, what name are these new clouds that they're making, these geoengineering clouds? What are they going to be called?
Well, they're already naming them. There's quite a number of them. And they're saying that they keep saying that they're finding new cloud forms, and if you look at old weather books, you'll see that the clouds are pretty consistent for years and years, and then all of a sudden you get into these man-made clouds, and then you've gotten over years these fancy names for these clouds that are jet produced. And so you have to really go and take a look at the old weather books and the old pictures, especially the old color pictures. And I did a real big research on that and was really interested in man-made clouds, because I was told by a Professor Rosalind from Israel University when he spoke here in California that most of the clouds we see today are man-made, and that really piqued my curiosity.
So they actually have names for these man-made clouds now? Is that correct? They're actually naming them?
Yes.
That's unbelievable. So, and they're showing up in textbooks in school?
Yeah, and you can even go to Audubon Society Cloud Book, and they have names for all these man-made clouds, and we know they're man-made because we can watch the jets over time form these types of clouds. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Much like they're rewriting history, Griff, they're rewriting science too.
And there was a set of stamps that was produced by NASA, and what happened is that these stamps became postage stamps. And if you look at this one set of postage stamps, which came out in 2003, you will find that most of the clouds are the new ones that are man-made. They're not old type of clouds.
That's unbelievable. Well, nothing's unbelievable these days. But you know, we see them consistently rewriting the history books to take away the truth of what happened in the past, and now they're rewriting the science books to show that there are umpteen different types of clouds. I clearly remember as a child in elementary school, there was only 4 or 5 types of clouds, and that was about it. There wasn't anything outside of that. So just one more thing that just blows me away. But one thing I wanted to ask you, in my reading, I know that there was a solar radiation management meeting held in San Diego in February. Were you able to attend that?
I wasn't able to attend the one in San Diego nor the one in Monterey. There was actually 2.
Mm-hmm.
And but there was 3 U.S. congressional hearings on solar radiation management, which means atmospherically putting up particles or chemicals or space mirrors and other things to reduce the amount of sunlight reaching the Earth. The U.S. Science and Technology report is due out this month, the first one, and then the final report by the U.S. House Science and Technology Committee is due out, somewhere around mid-September. And the Parliament 5th report at the UK is out, and they talk about going forward with global geoengineering governance to set up a program worldwide so that they're going to put up particles and chemicals in order to reduce the amount of sunlight reaching the Earth, which has tremendous implications. And also they want to pass the cap and trade bill, because how they intend to fund it is that they're going to say that all these programs to offset global warming can get these credits, and they can sell them to